Hey, what's up guys, TechTitan here and I am back again with a brand new video. So before I begin, I want to thank you all so much for the support lately. You guys have been killing it, like literally killing it. So keep up the support, make sure you're subscribed, make sure you check out more of my content if you're interested, and really more coming soon. Literally in the next couple of days I'm going to be releasing more videos, so stay tuned for that. Alright, so in this video we're going to be reviewing the Carl Zeiss camera on the new Nokia X100. And let's go ahead and get started and talk about the design and the specs. So as far as design goes, this is a circular module with the Carl Zeiss stamp literally in the middle. And you have the blue ring around the camera that gives it a really nice touch and just elevates the design. Spec-wise, it is a quad camera setup with the main camera being a 48 megapixel sensor, and it's also accompanied by a 5 megapixel ultra-wide lens as well as two cameras, one a 2 megapixel depth sensor and the other one is a 2 megapixel macro sensor, and these can come in handy from time to time. Alright, and the front camera does have a 16 megapixel sensor. Now, the optics for the rear and the front are in fact Carl Zeiss optics, but stay with me to see how this actually translates to image quality. So, the camera interface itself. The interface is simple, straight to the point, literally point and shoot, and in addition to your settings that you do get, it does have also this cinematic mode that shoots at 24 FPS with the cinematic ratio, and the camera app does show you different information when you are shooting in the cinematic mode, such as your ISO and your shutter speed and whatnot. So it can come in handy if you do shoot content. Okay, now let's jump into what you really guys are here for, which is the picture analysis, the camera analysis itself. So the first test is meant to compare the different cameras, and keep in mind that during all of these pictures I did keep HDR on. It helped produce a more higher dynamic range photos. So the first couple of pictures, the first one is really with the pine tree, and I do have to say that the color does look good on here. It does a pretty good job in balancing exposure and shadows, but when you do switch to the wide angle, it does kill the quality. So you have to keep in mind that when you switch to the wide angle, it's going to be less of a quality, but you do get the benefit of having a wide angle lens. So it's a win-lose type of situation. And here they are side by side so you guys can see the difference. You can definitely tell that there's a loss in quality. Now, as far as the next picture, it's kind of a zoomed in picture. Again, this phone does not have kind of a telephoto lens or anything like that, but the macro lens does help in getting a much more zoomed in pictures. But again, it is lesser in quality than the actual main sensor. So keep that in mind. Overall though, not a bad combination of cameras. Now the next picture tests more of how much data can it capture in one shot. So you can see that the grass and the leaves are in focus, but however they are slightly overexposed, but the colors do look pretty good overall. So same deal in the next picture. This is really meant to kind of test the bokeh kind of, and it does a pretty good job in the actual subject itself, but I do have to say that when it comes to the sky, it is way overexposed, and yeah, but in all fairness, it is not easy of a task to ask a budget phone to capture the subject but still keep the sky and the shadows in perfect exposure. So I understand. Okay, so the next, and in this situation, it's weird. The colors don't quite pop, so the orange is slightly underexposed. Maybe with a little bit more exposure and saturation, the colors do pop, but nonetheless, it is still a decent picture. And same goes for the water bottle itself. Okay, now to really test the bokeh, which kind of surprised me of how good of a job it does, but I do have to say that the focus is not perfect. It did have a tough time focusing on this image here, and same goes for the next couple of ones, but I do have to say that this is not really an easy picture to capture where the subject is in perfect focus and the background is perfectly blurred out. I do have to give it its fair props. It did a decent job. However, I do recommend to check your picture, which is an extra step, but at least it ensures that you have a fully focused photo. And I would try and lock the focus instead of relying on the autofocus, which is not really that good. So yeah. Some cases though, which is rare, it really happened a couple of times. When I took a picture of my car, it did have this lens flare, But again, it's a really, really rare case. I just wanted to share it with you guys so you guys will know. Okay, so as far as the dynamic range goes, it's decent. It's not perfect, of course, but it's very decent for this type of price that you will be paying for this phone. So it gets a thumbs up from me. And the selfie camera, actually, surprisingly, it is pretty good. It's better than I expected. It did a pretty good job in balancing the picture overall, so definitely gets a thumbs up from me. Now, here's the video sample test, and I will be back with some final words. So enjoy this video sample. Video test of the new Nokia X100. So from what I see is that it does tend to underexpose or overexpose depending on the situation. So exposure seems to be an issue, but so far tell me what you guys think. I mean, it's doing a decent job. I mean, it's not the best video camera capability out there, but it's decent. So yeah, that's your little sample video. See how exposure works? So the dynamic range is trying to show the sky as much as it can, but it does underexpose the buildings. When you go down, the sky is overexposed and the building is slightly underexposed. So yeah, that's your video test. I'm out. And focus seems to be pretty good, by the way. Yeah, it seems to be quick to focus. Oh, nice. Awesome. All right, now I'm out. Okay, so as far as the video goes, it did a decent job. The exposure was in and out, so that was kind of annoying, but overall a very decent video camera. And the autofocus on the video camera is way better than the autofocus on the picture side of things. And real quick, I just want to touch on night photography. It's okay, right? It does have a night mode and all, but there's still a lot of noise. And I did share a couple of, I will be putting up a couple of images on my Instagram, so make sure you follow me there. However, overall, as a conclusion, this definitely gets a thumbs up from me. The Carl Zeiss still seems to be like a marketing scheme, but it kind of works. So it's kind of balanced. Okay, so definitely this camera does compete with rivals that are in the same price range. And I can tell you right now, it definitely beats some of them. So if you want to see this phone compared to one of its other rivals, like the Galaxy A32, the Moto G Stylus 5G, and its other competitors, let me know. I will definitely be on the lookout and make sure that it happens. And with that being said, thank you all so much for watching this one. If you enjoy my content, please leave a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And as always, I will catch you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.